So as you start to arrive, you can get any little kinks out that you need. Maybe you need some torso twists or some side body stretches or some neck rolls, and just listening to whatever movements your body wants to take and trusting that. And then if you'd like to come to a place of stillness for this practice, then you can do so, getting into a comfortable position. And as you're arriving, just checking in with the shape of your spine and the shape of your skeleton. And just feeling that connection between your pelvic floor and the back of your throat. And feeling that straight line that you're creating up and down the center line of your body. And if you are sitting down, allowing your sit bones to be rooted and heavy so you feel some length in your lower back. And at the same time feeling the crown of your head, the highest point in your body, lifting up. And if you are laying down, then feeling the soles of your feet reaching in the opposite direction as the crown of your head. And feeling how much space you take up in the space that you're in. If you're in a space where you feel safe to do so, you can let your eyes gently close at any point. And just mark your arrival to this practice today with a full and deep cleansing breath. Take a full inhale in through the nose and allow yourself to fill up with this new air. And as you need to, letting it go. Maybe sighing it out. And that can actually be really helpful tool when we are feeling stressed out, is to have your breath be audible, have your exhales be audible. Because when we ourselves can hear our own exhale and hear the air releasing from our body, it communicates to us on like a deep level, like it communicates to our nervous system, just that we are ready to relax. We are softening. So letting yourself sigh as many times as you need to. And just letting your breath return to its natural state whenever you feel ready. And let yourself become the observer and the witness of your breath, so that you can feel like you are watching your breath without having any sort of control or guidance over it. And sometimes that feels totally impossible to do, so it is okay if it feels that way today. And just starting to notice the muscles in your body and notice where there is tension going to. Maybe if there's any expression resting on your face, noticing any tension in the eyebrows or the forehead, any tension in the jaw, the neck and the shoulders. And just by noticing these areas of tension, allowing yourself to then soften. I'm just noticing where your eyes are looking. And even if the eyes are closed, noticing where the gaze is located. Maybe looking into the backs of the eyelids, or maybe letting the eyes roll back and peer into the forehead. Or maybe rolling back even deeper and looking into the skull. Or wherever the eyes are looking, wherever your gaze is focused, just letting yourself peer into that space. And not trying to see anything specific, but just noticing whatever it is that you see, even if it is just blackness. And practicing softening your gaze so that you are seeing everything that exists in the space you can see and not looking at one thing in particular. And at the same time, letting the eyes be still. So there's one fixed point of focus, and at the same time, letting that focus disperse, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like you're turning on your own mind screen. And we spend so much time looking at screens outside of us. But whenever we close our eyes, and if you just imagine what your dreams are like, that all happens in your mind screen. And just remembering that there's always little movies playing here. And sometimes it's rather abstract and doesn't look like any images we recognize, or maybe they're just little blotches of colors and light coming in, but maybe there's just feelings associated with it, or thoughts that come into your mind that tell you something. But just not having any sort of goal for what you want to see, not having any expectation of what you should see or not see, but just really coming back to that witness, that observer, treating this just like your breath, where you can observe the rhythm of your breath without having any control over it. So also observing your sense of sight without having any control or expectations over what you see. You can also imagine this like looking up at the sky and just watching the clouds pass by. You're not trying to change the clouds, or you're not trying to analyze it, but just letting them come and go. And maybe a cloud pops up that looks like a familiar shape, and you notice that. And then you watch the next one come. So noticing any feelings and thoughts that come up as you look into your own mind screen, but not having any expectations for what that is. And also noticing if you do have expectations, because sometimes it's difficult to just say that you don't have any expectations if you in fact do. So maybe just wondering what it would feel like, or remembering what it feels like to simply witness and to not have any desire to control, but the process of observing. I'm thinking of this more like a listening process rather than a thinking and analyzing process. And as you peer into this space, whatever space you are looking into, just seeing what comes up when you think of your ideal future. Thinking of whatever that means to you, just noticing what comes up just when you ponder those words, ideal future. Because it's really hard for us to get what we want if we don't first acknowledge what it is that we want. And I think we can all get stuck kind of shrugging our way through life and just going with the flow, or not having any care of what really happens, or having things happen and then we realize that we care and we would have wanted something else. it can be really beneficial for us to take some time to ask ourselves, what is it that we want? What is ideal for you? So if there's any hardships you're going through right now, visualizing, maybe seeing yourself once those hardships are over. And you seeing a big smile on your face, hearing some laughter. If there's any place you want to travel, envisioning what that would feel like through all of your senses, what it would smell like, what it would look like, what things you would hear, what things you would eat and taste. And just allowing yourself to fully be immersed in whatever comes up when you think about an ideal future for you. For me, I'm going to visualize hugging my cat. That he comes home. And just, it can be really helpful also to think back, to think to the past. If we're having trouble visualizing a happy future or a peaceful future, an exciting future, whatever it is that you are yearning for, it can be helpful to evoke those feelings from past experiences. Because if we're in a space where we feel really disconnected and sad and heavy, sometimes it's near impossible to visualize that being any different. But then I think it's helpful to think to the past, to times when you did feel happy and peaceful and or excited or whatever feelings you yearn for right now. And just remembering that all emotions live in waves. And we will have times where we feel all the things we want to feel, and we'll have times where we feel the things we really don't want to feel, and really hard things to feel. And we're not meant to escape that. We're not meant to only feel good things all the time. And if we did, then we would not appreciate it. We would not feel good. It would feel pretty boring, pretty fast. So just letting yourself live wherever you are on that spectrum right now. And at the same time, noticing or just making a note of where you'd like to be. Giving yourself something to look forward to, something to work toward. And as you think about these things, or I guess not think, as you visualize these things, see yourself where you'd like to be. Noticing if any thoughts come up of, or any clues of what you might need to do to get there, or any steps that are just being required or asked of you to complete in order to get there. And oftentimes, I think of this in terms of relationships a lot. Oftentimes we can know what we want out of a partner and be yearning for that, and at the same time be stuck in a situation where we are not receiving that. And sometimes our fear of letting go of that can be the one thing that's stopping us from getting what we want. So sometimes our insides are just telling us what we need to do, and it can be really difficult to listen and do those things. But whenever you do feel ready to listen and act accordingly, know that that opportunity is there for you. And when we let go of the things that don't align with our ideal future, that gets us one step closer to that future that we yearn for. So by saying no to the things in our lives that don't make us feel good and don't align with what we want out of our lives, that just frees up so much space and energy and time for the things that we do want. Just letting yourself soak in these feelings, soak in the feelings that your ideal future brings you, and know that it is close to you, it is on the way to you. And I'm going to read a passage from Clarity and Connection by Young Pueblo. So you can let yourself just listen to the words and soak in whatever feels good, and allow whatever doesn't resonate to just pass on by. And just take with you what calls to you. Heal at the pace you know is right for you. What works for someone else may not be what you need. Discomfort is a part of growth, but constant discomfort is not healthy. Self-love is balancing serious inner work with rest and ease. Slow moments are common after a period of serious growth. They should not be feared, but embraced as opportunities to get to know the new you. As you mature, you release so many layers that you sometimes change radically, and your mind and body feel like a new home. Slow moments are for renewal and integration of recent lessons learned. But a slow pace often finds a way to test how you've grown. This is an important time to observe your progress and notice where you need further work. Inner peace is not feeling perfect all of the time or not caring about what is happening. Inner peace is feeling and being with your emotions without reacting to them. It is the calmness that emerges when you embrace change. Life is difficult and full of unexpected challenges. Even so, you have to ask yourself, how much stress and mental tension are you unnecessarily causing yourself by creating assumptions and replaying fears in your mind? How often are you refusing to let go and adapt when things change? How much of your inner turmoil is self-imposed? Let's stop treating each other like machines. It is okay if someone does not immediately respond to your email. Do not expect quick replies to every text message. The internet and social media have sharply increased the demands on your personal energy. Be a human and take your time. One of the hardest things about saying no is potentially upsetting others. If you know your path and what you need to focus on, you have to be mindful of your limits. Save your energy so that you can accomplish the goals at the top of your list. Those attuned to inner work will understand and respect your right to say no. Practice the strengths of earth. Have a giving nature. Be grounded in your purpose. Hold firm in times of turbulence. Cultivate the qualities of water. Move through life with gentleness. Have access to your power at all times. Flexibility and persistence increase success. Embody the teachings of fire. Transmute what you experience into light. Be strong enough to have clear boundaries. Have an awareness of when you need more fuel. And internalize the values of air. Release your expectations. Embrace the constant movement of change. Seeing is not everything. Feeling is essential. Balance. Just take a moment to let those words settle. And remember that when things resonate with you, it is just when you hear on the outside what you already know to be true on the inside. So just letting the things that resonated with you today that you've heard, letting those be enhanced within you so you have a bit more confidence in these truths of life. And just remember that you are always doing the best that you can with what you have. So being so kind to yourself throughout this turbulent life, and just trust that we feel what we need to feel when we need to feel it. And the aversion to what we are currently feeling is what causes our greatest suffering. So just remembering that if you are feeling pain, let yourself feel pain. If you're feeling happiness, let yourself feel happiness. And all the other emotions, insert here. And at the same time, having that vision for what you would like to feel. Letting yourself be aware of how you want to feel on a daily basis so that you can notice what things align with that and what things don't. What things can enhance what you like and what things take away from that. Remembering the power that you have to ease your tensions and enhance your happiness. So if it feels like something you would like to do, you can let your hands find each other in a prayer position at heart center. And just feel this connection of your palms and fingers to each other. Maybe feeling the pulsing of your palms into each other, along with the pulsing of your heart. And as you take a deep breath into the body, letting yourself fill up. And as you exhale, letting it all go. Letting go of anything that no longer serves you as you let your head gently bow. Just bowing to whatever source you believe is allowing your heart to beat. Bowing to the constant source of guidance and inspiration around you, whatever you believe that to be. Bowing to everyone in this space who has listened to this practice and completed it alongside you. And most importantly, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today, for choosing to listen, and take time out of your busy schedule for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you and fuel you, and may you bring the same love and understanding into everything that you do and to everyone that you see. Namaste.